The scheduled meeting of the City of New Smyrna Beach Planning and Zoning Board and Land Planning Agency for Monday, July 7th, 2025 may come to order. Please silence all cell phones. Stephanie, could you please call the roll?
John Causey.
Here.
Thomas Bean.
Here.
John Hall.
Here.
Stephen Yates.
Here.
Larry Wheatcraft.
Here.
Curtis Hodges.
Here.
And Kip Holvershorn.
Here.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. City staff, do you have any changes to the agenda?
We do have item 2A would like to request an extension for one more month. They're still working on their proposal so they'd like to just ask for one more extension and they'll be back to see you in August.
Okay, so that's the old business,
Yes.
315? Okay,
Item 2A.
so we'll go ahead and bring that up after public
Oh, I'm sorry.
participation, right?
4A.
4A, you're right.
Yep, you just guys have to do a motion on that to continue to the August 4th, 2025.
Okay,
And that's that.
we can do that after public participation, right?
No,
Or do
you can
want
do
us
it
to go ahead and
now.
do it now?
Mhm.
Okay. So with that being said, do we have any, do I need to open up the public participation for this or just strictly, okay, just wanted to double check. So discussion, questions by the board? Any discussion? We good with continuing this for another month?
Yes.
If
Need a
so,
motion?
do I have a motion to continue it?
Yeah, I'll motion to continue V325-315 Faulkner to August 4th.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Stephanie, could you please call the roll vote?
Member Yates.
Yes.
Member Causey. I'm not Member Causey. Member Hodges.
Yes.
Member Causey.
Yes.
Member Hall.
Yes.
Member Bean.
Yes.
Member Holvershorn.
Yes.
And Chair Wheatcraft.
Yes.
The motion to continue V-3-25, 315 Faulkner Street to the August 4th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. The vote is 7 in favor, 0 opposed. 7 in favor and 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Or continued.
We'll move to approval of minutes. We're looking at May 5th, 2025. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the May 5th minutes?
I'll move we approve the May 5th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Board minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Thank you. Stephanie, could you please call the roll vote?
Member Holvershorn.
Yes.
Member Hall.
Yes.
Member Causey.
Yes.
Member Bean.
Yes.
Member Yates.
Yes.
Member Hodges.
Yes.
And Chair Wheatcraft.
Yes.
On the motion to approve the May 5th, 2025 regular meeting minutes as submitted, the vote is 7 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move to public participation. In accordance with resolution number 11-89, a 3-minute limitation will be imposed unless otherwise granted by the Planning and Zoning Board. This is the opportunity to address any item not a part of tonight's agenda. So now is the time to come forward if anybody would like to come forward to speak on an item that's not on tonight's agenda. Seeing none, public participation is closed. We'll move on to new business. First up is ZT-4-25, which is a review and give a recommendation of a proposed text amendment to the city's land development regulations to add a restriction on advertisement of unpermitted uses. City staff, do we have a report?
Yes, I'll be doing that report from here. This item was brought to us really from our Code Enforcement Board and our City Attorney's Office, just having some issues with advertisements that obviously were unpermitted uses and having a manner to follow up on those with a code reference. So having this inserted into the code in the general regulations section would give them that code reference.
Okay.
And I'm available for any questions if you guys have it.
Any questions to staff?
Yeah, I do. Would you give an example, because I'm really not following that rule, but
Oh, okay.
could you give an
So
example how that happens or what brings that up?
we have a short-term rental zoning district.
Short term, okay.
And our code enforcement does follow up on advertisements for short-term rentals, and oftentimes they do find them outside of the short-term rental zone. So that's one example. So having something to follow up with them and say this is not allowable. Obviously, it's already not allowable per the code because there's a short-term rental zone, but having a reference that says it's prohibited to advertise something that is not a permitted use on your property.
And what do we do, what's the next step?
So in this case, I'm sure that the code enforcement board would then notify them and say, you're advertising for something that is not an allowable use. So at least be able to give them notice and say, per code reference section 504, general regulations. The follow-up from there would be, whatever code enforcement follow-up is. But also like advertising multifamily allowability on a property that is only allowed for single family. We've seen that in the past, and is something that we said, well, you know, you shouldn't advertise something that is not allowable. It's really false advertisement, but we can also point to prohibited uses.
If somebody violates this, is there a penalty?
Yeah, it would just go along with any other code compliance case, so they would be given the opportunity to correct it, and then only if they were found to be in continued violation and didn't correct it would there be a fine imposed. There's maximums per the Florida statutes, just like all the other code violations. That's correct.
Any other questions? If there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and move to public participation. At this time, public participation is opened. A 3-minute limitation will be imposed unless otherwise granted by the board. Seeing none, public participation is closed. I'd imagine staff has nothing further. Any further discussion from the board? With that being said, is there a motion to recommend to City Commission to approve ZT-4-25, proposed text amendment to the city's land development regulations to add a restriction on the advertisement of unpermitted uses?
Regarding item ZT 425, I move for a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the proposed zoning text amendment to add restrictions of advertisement on unpermitted uses.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Stephanie, could you please call the roll vote?
Member Bean?
Yes.
Member Causey?
Yes.
Member Hall?
Yes.
Member Yates?
Yes.
Member Hodges?
Yes.
Member Holvershorn?
Yes.
And Chair Weecraft.
Yes.
On the motion to recommend approval of City Commission for ZT-4-25 as submitted, the vote is 7 in favor, 0 opposed, the motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move to ZT-6-25. Is a review and give a recommendation of a proposed text amendment to the city's land development regulations to amend sign definitions and required improvements. City staff, do you have a report?
Good evening, gentlemen. Shane Corbin, Development Services. Give me just a second to get this loaded up. Thought I had it on there. There we go. Okay, hopefully this will be about as controversial as that last one you guys just heard, and we'll get through it pretty quick. But we have some proposed amendments to our sign regulations. This project started when we became aware that of a provision that was passed in 2011 during the last major sign update, called for all the city's pole signs to come down, whether they were defunct, broken, change of use or anything, just across the board. A committee had got together and worked on this. And so they left something in the future for us. They left us a present for us to tell 145 businesses that they're going to have to spend money on taking their signs down and buying new ones. So that was supposed to happen in 2021, but there was COVID, and I'm sure people did not want to enact this, so they punted again, and they punted it to 2025. And so as we knew that deadline was approaching, we did a workshop with the City Commission, and we were given direction to remove that provision from the sign code. However, we're not issuing new permits for pole signs. We're not even issuing permits to change the faceplates out. If there's a change of use, it has to go away. So there are provisions for them to go away naturally and go to our current standards, which are typically monument signs. So those would remain, but we wouldn't be going out and forcing a business that hasn't done anything, has had the same sign for 20 years, force them to spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a new sign. We can anticipate that would make a lot of business owners very upset. So we've done that. And while we've got the sign code open, we went ahead and found some other things that we thought needed to be changed. And so we went ahead and addressed those as well, but they're fairly minor. So this would be your typical pole sign. This was a flyer that staff had put together years ago that was going to go out and notify everyone of this provision and what was coming. Can't see it real good on this map, but you can see, because of the lighting, but you can see the red dots on the yellow. Those are locations of all the pole signs. And again, we've got a total of about 145. You can see a little bit better on this map. This is US 1. We have a high concentration there. A couple in the historic district, but not many. There's a few in the Flagler Avenue area. And then this is at Beachside as you come across the causeway right there where 3rd and Atlantic come together in that commercial district. So we've got a good concentration of them there as well. So those are the businesses that we would be going to and saying, hey, you've got to spend a lot of money on a new sign. So it's a pretty simple fix. We went in and deleted the language that said shall be removed by November 2025. And we just massaged that language a little bit. We kept some of the provisions about no face changes and also language about the vintage signs. And there at the bottom, you can see we also deleted some language, provided the pole sign is replaced with a conforming sign by November 29, 2025. So that was that fix. Another thing that we were missing was any provisions to help us regulate feather signs. If you're familiar with those, I'm sure you've seen them all over the place. If you haven't seen them before, you'll notice them after this conversation. Businesses put them out prolifically, and the language in our code only addresses flags. We didn't have any language that really singled out and defined what a feather sign was and made it different from a flag so that we could regulate it. So we created a definition for that, and we also added it to the restrictions for temporary signs. So the restrictions being proposed under direction from the city manager's office would be a maximum of 2 feather signs can be displayed on a property for a total of 15 days during a 12-month period. So if you've got a sale, or you're opening a business, or you've got some promotion that you want to do, you can do it, but you can't be excessive with it, and you can't keep 10 signs out all year long, which is one of the things we see from a lot of businesses. We went ahead and addressed some issues with electronic signs. Most of it was just a little bit of cleanup, some clarification on how we measure from one sign to the next, because we only allow them within 600 linear feet of each other, so that you don't have clusters of electronic signs in any one area. We also added language about not allowing them to scroll or flash in on their size, that they cannot exceed 8 square feet. And at the end of last week, the city manager also asked for some language to address institutional uses that may be eligible for electronic signs in a zoning district where they otherwise wouldn't. And examples of those uses would be like a school or church or a city-owned facility where you've got lots of programming that's going on and they're offering services to the community, and it's not practical for them to have a sign where they have to go out and change it every day to talk about the classes that are coming in or the groups that are meeting there. So that is actually, that language that's underlined there is not in the draft version that you've got. That the agenda had already gone out, the draft had already gone out, and so this was a last-minute language that we're proposing to add. Here's in the definitions, we added about 10 definitions for clarity and enforcement. The one that we've already talked about is the feather sign. So I looked at probably 24 other communities and looked at language that I thought was good and came up with this one. But we even add a graphic, so there's no question to how it's different from a flag. And that's really the bulk of it. There's a couple of other little tweaks, but it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions of staff?
Yes. I have a question. So are the flag signs okay?
Under this proposed language, they would be allowed, but there would be a time restriction on them. You'd be able to have 2 per parcel, but only for 15 days.
And that's it. So because everybody's went to the flags because they knew they could have a loophole by having a flag. Okay, the other thing is what about real estate signs? Because that's a pole sign.
Real estate sign is addressed somewhere else, but we're not proposing any changes that would affect a real estate sign.
What about if someone I notice a guy's got, and I know it's a pole sign, it's 2 poles with aluminum around it down here on the right, coming into town where someone run into it. What about if they were ran into? Were they allowed to rebuild?
No.
No.
It would not. Not unless it was a natural disaster.
So if someone hits it, then I guess, what are they into a big lawsuit? Because now they can't put that sign back up and they're going to have to spend $30,000.
Insurance, I'd imagine. But
They would not have been able to change the face on that sign already. So that sign was older. I think it had a,
Yeah, I'm just asking because people ask you questions about it.
yeah, they were notified that the sign was hit and that they should
Well, we're all
take
looking
care
at the
of
same thing. That's
take
nice.
care of the situation. But that is an older sign, and if a new business were to go in that location, they would not have been able to change the face on that sign per the code currently. Sorry, Shane, I
It's all
just
right.
jumped in. But I'm familiar with that one because it was recently hit, and I know we were discussing it.
So in our language, we definitely remove the part that real estate signs are not held underneath this same category.
We didn't touch anything that would be about real estate signs, but back in, I don't know if it was 2011 during the major update, basically, you cannot regulate signs based on their content. So you can't treat a real estate sign different than a church sign or based on the content,
Yes.
right? You can get a permit for a permanent sign, and that will have to meet our standards, whatever those standards are at the time. But we can't say we're going to treat a real estate sign different than We Buy Houses sign or anything like that.
So there is no different?
Gosh, I don't
think
I know
so.
we didn't touch it. We didn't touch anything that would affect real estate signs. But off the top of my head, I can't tell you.
We
Yeah,
don't-
I know, but when you said the thing, it to me, it just rung a bell with, because everybody sticks those signs out. It says, I'll buy your house, call this number for cash. So is that considered a real estate sign or
That would be a
the trash?
temporary snipe sign that would, typically you see them in rights of way.
Yes.
You're not allowed to put anything in a right of way. We don't permit signs in right of ways.
Yeah.
All of those signs are illegal, and our code enforcement staff is constantly picking them up all over the place.
Thank you.
Problem.
any other questions of staff? Yes, sir.
Do we have a high use for the high-density urethane signs or monuments?
Pardon me?
The
been
high-density
speaking-
urethane that's mentioned in 205, it's on page 3, for monuments and ground signs, freestanding signs.
Do we have a what for that?
Do we have a lot of usage from our constituents that want to use that?
Do they install a lot of them? I actually don't know what the materials would be of like the percentage of them that are made out of that versus
Yeah, 'cause it's
brick,
really
stone,
styrofoam.
or wood.
Yeah, it's styrofoam. So maybe that's something, it would be a good discussion on the next time it's reviewed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, one more. What about signs painted on buildings?
Like a mural?
So a mural is art, right? If it advertises a good or service, then it becomes a sign. And so actually, we did clarify that in the definitions. We have a definition for public art in there that clarifies that. So if you want to go, say you've got a restaurant and you want to put a big chicken on the side, and it doesn't advertise necessarily what's going on, it's not an actual dish, and it doesn't have your logo or your name on it, then it's just a cartoon chicken. You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Problem?
Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up to public participation. A 3-minute limitation will be imposed unless otherwise granted by the Planning and Zoning Board. Okay, seeing none, public participation is closed. I'd imagine city staff has nothing further. Do we have any discussion on our end? I do think the idea of removing the requirement for the pole signs is a really good idea for the existing businesses that have them.
Yeah, Tricia will take it out.
Yeah, over time. So it'll definitely help out our business owners in the city. So if there's nothing further, do I?
have one
Yeah,
more.
go ahead.
Have we sent out notices to everyone that has a pole sign, letting them know this information? So they don't come in crying that they didn't know it and now they got to spend the money, in a certain amount of time if something happens.
They were notified some years ago, I think before 2021, when this was put in place, that we were coming up to the deadline in 2020 or 2021, whenever that first deadline was. There was notices, but not since.
You don't think it'd be like a good idea, since we have what do you say, 190 or so people with these signs, send them out letting them know what's happening right now, so they can't come in and ask for an extension on extension on extension?
So typically, the building department, when a permit comes in, they'll notify them. Yeah, I mean,
It's too
that's
late.
something to
It's too late
consider.
then. Yeah, I mean, they're always going to cry about something, but the
Sure.
bottom line is, if maybe they were noticed, we send out new notices since it's been almost 5 years.
And this is publicly in the News Journal. So we're published in the News Journal for both of these for advertisement. So it is in advertisement with the News Journal, and it will be with City Commission as well.
You could add that to your recommendation if you'd like to make a motion and add a recommendation that business owners be notified of the sign code change.
Okay, please.
Any discussion? Are you guys good with that? Adding that as a recommendation?
Before we put it in there, I have a question for the attorney. If someone does not get notified, does not get a letter sent to them, can they now use that for some type of stall tactic if they didn't actually get it, if it wasn't certified or whatever?
There would be the public reading of making the changing, the 2 public readings of it. It would be adopted by the City Commission, which does constitute the notice that would be required in order to enforce it. Not to say that somebody wouldn't try something like stalling, delaying.
Yes.
But they would have had adequate notice, and certainly this has been a topic that's been discussed at multiple public forums, including the workshop on signs that came out within the past several months.
Before we put it up for recommendation, how do y'all feel about the
Carl, do you
idea?
mind moving the mic?
You gotta go in the mic.
The mic.
Sorry. How do y'all feel about us putting that up for recommendation? Is it gonna, what do you think? It's gonna help? It's gonna hurt? How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know that it's been a big issue. It could create confusion. They might say, why are we receiving this now? I don't know. It could go.
The nice thing is, even if you include it as part of the recommendation, it'll still move forward to City Commission, and they'll make their determination at that
Perfect.
time.
Yeah.
There may also be additional public comment during that series of meetings as well, which may help steer that decision.
Okay. Thank you.
It also could give staff additional time to kind of mull it over to
Yes.
to
Right.
provide some type of pros and cons whenever they give their presentation.
Well, and also typically when those notifications are sent out, if we're sending them to, it's sent to what's the record on the property appraisers, which oftentimes is not the
That's correct.
business owner that's currently in that building, so. And
There's a
property
con.
owners could relay or not relay,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. With that being said, do I have a motion to recommend to the City Commission to approve ZT-6-25, proposed text amendment to the city's land development regulations to amend the sign definitions and required improvements with any conditions if a motion is made so?
Yes, with conditions that we would, attempt to make a notion to send out some kind of notification to all these number of people that's on this 190 or whatever the number was, that letting them know that that we are making these changes. And you know what? If anything else, it's been, nice to them that
Sure.
city cares. We're trying to at least keep them in the loop what's going on.
Stephanie, did you get all of that for the
And I'm sorry, Stephanie,
recommendation?
if you have to do all that.
So a courtesy notification, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Stephanie, could you please call the roll vote?
Who is that? All right. Member Hodges?
Yes.
Member Holvershorn?
Yes.
Member Causey?
Yes.
Member Hall?
Yes.
Member Bean?
Yes.
Member Yates?
Yes.
And Chair Weecraft.
Yes.
On the motion to recommend approval to City Commission for ZT-6, with the condition of notification sent out to business owners and as submitted, with a vote of 7 in favor and 0 opposed, the motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move to comments or statements by members of the board. Anything that needs to be brought up? Seeing none, reports and communications by staff.
I just wanted to mention, I hope everyone got my email about the continuing education for board members. If you're interested, there may still be some seats available. I did have one sign up. I know most of us that were on this board last year attended one of those informational sessions together. But if you're interested in attending again, it is in September during the American Planning Association State Conference in Daytona. It was a limited seating. I know, Carl, you were probably out of town when I sent that, but if you're interested in attending a workshop on local planning agencies, just let me know.
Carl attended it last time.
Yes, you did.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
That's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we are adjourned. Thank you.